We do have a very special guest coming in, and I'm talking about the 24-year-old unbeaten WBO welterweight world champion. They call him the Assassin 2. Georgia's own Brian Norman Jr. on Morning Kombat. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right.
What's
Brian
up,
Norman,
man?
let me
I
start.
like the intro. I like the intro.
Yeah, get fired up with us right here. 4 days removed from going to Japan and spectacularly knocking out Jin Sasaki with a left hook from hell, hitting his head on the canvas. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about your future. But I want to talk about the past. Where did you come from? You seem to just drop into boxing. You became a world champion. You look like a finished product at age 24. I know you've been grinding for years, but I look at you as a refreshing addition to not just the welterweight scene, but American boxing. Welcome, Brian Norman Jr.
Welcome. But I am not a finished product at all. I just want you to know that. This was just me introducing myself to the whole world out there in Japan as well. Shout out to Jin Sasaki, but things had to be done. I had to keep living my legacy and making a name for myself.
I mean, just 24 years old. Right now, you've improved that record all the way up to 28-0 with 22 KOs. So let's start right here. What are you bringing in your eyes to the welterweight division that is not there? What makes you special among the elite at 147?
The plain old love of the game. A lot of people now, I don't see the real deal love or passion and just straight up throwing hands. At the end of the day, that's what boxing is about. You got guys over here saying, "Look at my clothes. Look at what I got on." You got guys over here saying a whole bunch of just unnecessary stuff. I don't care about what you're driving. I don't care about what clothes you're wearing. I don't care about the women you're around. Can you throw these things? Put your dukes up and let's lay down. That's all I care about. And a lot of guys, they not on that. A lot of people not real deal world champions. They get their belts and they go home and they try to protect it right there in their little pocket. No, I'm a world champion. I'm like Thriller Manila. I'm like all of those great fighters in the past that fought everywhere. Marvin Hagler, Alimenta, fighting in the UK. Kell Brook and Errol Spence, UK once again. So it's fighting worldwide instead of just fighting right here down the street, around the corner, on the block. You feel me? So I am trying to show everybody I'm a true world champion.
Brian, so let's talk about that left hook that polished off Jin Sasaki. He jabs you, you jab him to the body. Then he wants to get it back for some reason and jabs you to the body, and then you saw it there. Were you baiting that left hook? Did you know he was going to react that way? Talk me through how that KO happened.
I knew exactly what he was going to do. It actually started the day before. I was sizing up Jen, and I seen he look up to me. I don't know if it's my energy or something, whatever the case may be, but I seen that he look up to me. He look at where I am at, regarding being a champion, how I carry myself or something. And when we were taking pictures at the weigh-ins, I would literally see him look over, see what I'm doing, and do the exact same thing. So I knew for a fact he will copy me. So in the first round, I peeped his game plan off top, jab to the body. That was his whole thing, jab to the body. I seen when he come back up, his hands is down. He's not on point. He's not ready. I said, okay, cool. I can use that to my advantage. Then, surely enough, fifth round came in, and he got away from the game plan, was a jab to the body. And I done found myself, found my rhythm, found my range, and boom, I jabbed it to the body just to remind him. So he copied me, and he went right back to the jab to the body. He didn't even wait on it. He didn't feint anything. And then, of course, he came right up into it, and you see I was ready.
When you hit him, I often hear from prize fighters when a clean KO shot lands, they can barely feel it, even though it's super powerful because the transfer of power is so fluid. Did you feel the same? Was it just the cleanest shot you've ever landed?
Oh, yeah, it felt like I just swatted a fly or something. Like my hand just flew through him. And I will say it was a scary visual because if you watch the fight back, I was locked in on him the whole time. So after I hit him, I'm still looking at him. He was standing up with his eyes closed. I'm walking towards the corner. I see him falling back. I see his head hit the mat. And I know that's not that wasn't right. I heard that loud bang. I heard everything about it. Gladly, he's okay now.
Did it scare you a little bit when I think it was his coach or his corner was saying he doesn't remember the last 6 weeks? I mean, that's a devastating punch you landed, man.
Shoot, it scared me before that. So after all the bowing and celebrating I was doing, I seen him slide the stretcher, and I'm thinking, okay, he finna wake up in a minute. I take my gloves off. That took a good little minute. I turn around, he still asleep. So that's when it started setting in. Okay, this real. This ain't a regular knockout. This one of the ones. So I was definitely worried at that point.
Brian, when you delivered that knockout, I didn't think you could do better than that until you got in the post-fight interview and really gave a nice sort of cryptic, I don't know, call out or a slant over at unbeaten Jaron Boots. And that's a fighter, the former unified welterweight champion that we have a lot of respect for, who just announced the move up to 154. You said he put on his boots and run, basically. But I feel like boxing Twitter's like, hold on. Didn't Brian Norman turn down 1.7 million to fight Boots that one time? Could you give us the true story of what happened here? Did you have a chance to fight Boots? What went on?
So now with that, they was trying to downplay who I was and who I am, and trying to lowball me. So even with the one, we said we do like that number, but it's over there in Philly. So you can we're gonna give you two options. You can either move the fight over, or you can move the fight right there. Just bump up the numbers a little bit. They said no to both. Said okay, cool. Then a few months later, they fight in what's my dude's name, Stanionis, and they gave him the best of both worlds. They gave him more money plus moved the fight over. And a lot of people like to try to say, but it was my biggest paycheck. You better accept whatever they give you. Stanionis got paid less than I did in my previous fight before that as well. So how does he get paid more than me? And the fight bumped over. Okay, that ain't making no sense. All right, cool. We're gonna let all of that slide. We're gonna let all of that slide. They came back with a second fight, and we said, cool, we can fight. It was right before this fight. This fight was already signed and actually official. But they said we wanted you to sign the contract before this fight, before the fight is before the fight day. And we said no, we can sign a contract. We can talk about the contract literally right after the fight. I fight June 19th. We can make a call. We can talk to each other literally right after the final bell. They said no. They said I'm ducking. They said this and they said that. Okay, cool. But why y'all move up literally the week of my fight? Why did y'all literally move up the day before my fight at that? That's when Boots made the post. It was like, we were supposed to fight after this. I never said no. I just said, can I get done with this fight first?
Sure.
Then we can make something happen. I don't know if y'all remember, David Haney and Ron Garcia supposed to run it back, but they not because he lost to Rolly. He wasn't focused on the task at hand. If you remember the whole build up to the fight, they didn't really care about Ryan versus Rolly or Devin versus Ramirez. They were just going Devin versus Ryan. Already predetermined what's gonna happen, and we're seeing something happen. Then you got Caleb Plant versus Charlo. That was supposed to happen. But his eyes wasn't on the prize. He was focused on Charlo instead of who was in front of him, and we seen what happened with that. So when I try to do the same and focus on fight by fight, I'm in the wrong. But when everybody else do it and they lose, now they try to down talk them and this, that, and the third. Hey, it's just me learning from my peers. That's all I'm doing. It's the reason why I came out there two weeks earlier to Japan. What's my dude name? Cool Boy Steph. He went at their own fight week and we seen what happened with him and his performance. I'm pretty sure that wasn't him at his best, but he didn't take the proper precautions or whatever. I did. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm taking everything fight by fight, time by time, day by day. So when we sitting here right now, what's today? June 23rd. We're supposed to fight after this. We can still make that thing happen. I just want to let that be known.
Well, I certainly can understand, and I think that's wise the way you're operating on a fight by fight basis and giving that respect to your opponent. After Boots announced the move up to 154, I did see an interview with him where he said doctors looked over his body stats and found that he's only operating at 30 to 40% of himself at 147. How do you respond to that? And let me add on the back end of that, do you think he could have made 147 one more and fought you?
I got a question for you. Pull the panel back up. There you go. Look, I got a question for you. What does a doctor check? Like, what test do they run to say at 147 you not performing that? You only, matter of fact, and give you an estimate. You only performing at 30 or 40%. What do they check?
I don't know. I never heard that before. I don't think that's a urine test.
Look, people, it sounds amazing. Yeah, my doctor said. So now it's off of you. a professional stated this, so it's a real deal thing that happened. Man, forget all that. All those doctors and everything, they just like us. They be Googling stuff. They be look, I seen it firsthand. Somebody Googled what to do and in my face. So just because they are so-called professional, things of that nature, don't mean nothing. But also, even if they're professional, things of that nature, they passed school and did all of that. What do you check to know that you are only performing at 30 or 40%? I want to know. I really do want to know what test did they run? Do your blood say something? I don't believe your blood say anything. Like what? How? And now if you say your nutritionist said this, I'll probably give you a pass because you know they saying you ain't eating enough or something like that. He didn't say his nutritionist. He said his doctor said, and he gave an estimate on how much. He said 30 or 40%. How that make sense? What test did they run? I want to know. Let me
Yeah,
go get tested. I
I
want
want
to
to
go
know
get
more about
tested.
that too.
Yeah, I want to get how good am I performing at 147? Do I need to go up or go down?
Well, lately you've been performing at 147%, it seems. Let me ask you this. If Boots is gone now, there'd be two belts up for grabs, but the other title holder in this division in the WBC is Mario Barrios, who has a fight coming up July 19th on PBC pay-per-view against 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. How do you read that fight? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a hard one to read simply because, of course, Mario Barrios is a great fighter, but also Manny Pacquiao got them calf muscles, and I know he got bricks in them gloves. So, and he a legend. So anything is still possible. I know if he land one, it's gonna do some serious damage. I mean, we seen he the only one to beat the one time Keith Thurman. So we seen what he can do. What if he do it again? So we never know.
Yeah, let me see your left hand, Brian. You got stitches or yeah. What happened there?
Sure, I got him on both hands. Actually, that's the crazy part.
Wow.
Yeah,
Talk me through that.
shoot, broke both of my hands. I gave the boxing game my life, real deal, since 7 years old. So I broke literally both hands. So that's also something else I've been going through in my pro career. Also, so now, as you see with my past fights or whatever, my past few fights, I've been on point because now I got both hands and I'm able to operate. I'm able to train how I'm supposed to train. Literally, at one point, I couldn't do push-ups how I wanted to. I couldn't hit the bag. I
Wow.
couldn't spar. It was a lot of stuff that I literally couldn't do, all because of my hand injuries. And of course, with the attitude that I got, it was like I'm still fighting. I don't care about anything. So, um, but it built a whole lot of character. I mean, it's hard to go out there to Japan and enemy territory, not just in another state, in a whole nother country, and still put on the performance that I did. So it taught me a whole lot of character building.
Let me ask you about the state of American boxing. How would you describe the health of boxing in the United States? And if there is a problem, what is it?
Soft. That's how I describe it. Everybody's just soft, and I ain't even gonna say soft. I'm gonna say a whole bunch of fakers. Everybody, a whole bunch of characters. Everybody not being who they truly are. Like, boom, I'm out here doing the interview. If I get off this interview, I'm talking the exact same way, doing the exact same things. It's because this is me. This is who I am. You ask me all these same questions a year later, they're gonna be about the exact same because this is just who I am. I am who I am. That's it. A lot of people, they seen Floyd Mayweather and they seen how he did what he did, so they try to copy and paste the same exact thing he did. They don't realize that worked for him. That's his recipe. That's his blueprint. Let him have that. Let him bake his cake and watch it make magic. But all these other guys, they more so forcing it. I know they're not being themselves, and it's just like they are being overly disrespectful just because that's what sells fights. That's what do this. No, your performance is what sells fights. That's what's in my book. Are you putting people to sleep? Are you being entertaining? At the end of the day, I don't care if I throw a windmill, a backhand, or a slap. If I put somebody to sleep, y'all gonna love it.
Where are you now? Are you still in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm back in Georgia now.
Yeah. Well, you're from Decatur?
Yeah,
What high school did you go to?
now with the MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. High
Uh,
School.
okay, right on. I went to Marietta and Valdosta, so I know a little bit about that
Yeah,
area.
I
All right.
got you.
Hey, how long before you're headlining at Nationwide Arena in Atlanta with a big fight? How long before that happens?
Shoot, probably soon. I mean, I'm doing my thing. Y'all see it, so I'm going global. But now it's time to take it back a little local, a little bit. You know, have a little homecoming or something. I mean, that would be a blessing. That would be good. But we shall see what's next for me.
Well, Brian, you're the assassin too. Your father, Brian Norman, the assassin one, a former pro himself. Did he come out of retirement earlier this year at 46 for a comeback fight? What is that like for your dad to be still in the game like this?
Scary. That's exactly what it is. It was scary because once again, he was 45 at the time. 45 ain't did a push up or nothing in like 10, 15 years probably. So it was very, very scary. But the boy bad. I see exactly where I got it from. Shoot, he was out there doing his miles, everything without me telling him. He was doing his miles, hitting the bad, jump rope, and this, that, and the third, eating right, eating on point. Um, at the drop of a dime, he was on it. So I see exactly where I got all of it from, and it was a joy to see.
Congratulations to your pops right there, former light heavyweight and super middleweight, maybe not former anymore. Let's close with this. We thought welterweight was a division that needed some big names. You're establishing yourself. Boots is gone, but all those young kids seem to be slowly coming up now that they're becoming grown men. The Haneys, Teofimos, Ryan Garcias. We got Rolly making big news. If you could pick the next opponent right now, who would you pick? Who do you have eyes on to continue to make your name at 147?
I say besides that WBC belt, whoever wins that fight, I say Rolly. He also got a belt, so it got to be him. I mean, why would I give one of those other guys a chance when they don't even got a belt?
There it is. There it is.
Fair.
All right. Get a belt, Haney, and then call Brian Norman Jr.